2003, okay. First pick overall, the Cincinnati Bengals, who have been bangling and bungling picks for years, finally got their quarterback of the future. Carson Palmer went first overall. Other all-pros in that draft. Kevin Williams went number 9 to Minnesota. Troy Polamalu. Steelers traded up. The Eagles took Jerome McDougal right before him. They took Polamalu right there at 16. Other notables, Andre Johnson went number 3 to Houston. Terrell Suggs went number 10 to Baltimore. Jason Witten was a third-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys. And our very own Nate Burleson went 2 picks after Witten, and he went to the Minnesota Vikings. 4 different first-round picks out of the University of Miami that year. Andre Johnson went to the Houston Texans. Jerome McDougal went to the Eagles. Willis McGahee went to the Bills. And William Joseph went to the Giants. There were a lot of quarterbacks taking. And the names, they stand out. I mean, Carson Palmer, Byron Leftwich, Kyle Bowler,
they stand out.
Rex Grossman,
Rexy.
Dave Ragone, remember him? Chris Sims, Seneca Wallace. Wait, we're not done yet.
Let's go to New Jersey.
Page 2. Next. Brian St. Pierre, Drew Henson, the former baseball star, Brooks Bollinger, Cliff Kingsbury.
There he is. There's the king.
Head coach of. Remember that? I mean, Ken Dorsey,
who is
your
that
quarterback. And then the very last name you see, undrafted, after all of those names, Tony Romo.
What happened in sports in 2003 in general?
That's a great question, Kay. We had a Super Bowl, of course, and we had that Buccaneers-Raiders Super Bowl down in San Diego.
Chucky Bowl.
It was interesting because it was the Chucky Bowl. I'm glad you say that. You had a coach who had just finished coaching the Raiders, who was now on the other sideline with Tampa. It looked like it might be close early, and then MVP Rich Gannon and the Raiders just didn't have it. It was the Bucs' day. I was Joe Juravicious. I'm talking about Keenan McCardell. I remember if it weren't for a late touchdown to Jerry Porter, it would have been even more lopsided. Also, very famous from the Super Bowl, Terry Tate, the Office linebacker commercial came out. The guys who would be at the copy machine just get blown up. Hugely popular commercial. There was also some bad news we did not like in 2003 that launched a million radio segments. Michael Vick, in a preseason game against Baltimore, breaks his leg. This is after his coming out season. He was on the Madden cover, running around like the athlete he is in a preseason game, breaks his leg. That to this day comes up about how much starters should play in the preseason. 15 years ago, something special happened as it pertains to this network, guys. Let's take a look at what it was. Roll it. Let's see. It was the debut of the NFL Network.
Wow.
2003, there's that incredible mural of Walter Payton, those beautiful Culver City studios, and here comes Rich saying we're going to bring you football year-round. I remember this came out, I said, wait, there's a channel all year that is only football? I don't have to watch spring training or NASCAR or bull riding? Awesome. Unbelievable day for us, and here we sit 15 years later.
What was I doing? I was in the University of Miami having a ball.
Yeah.
We were living it up down there. It was University of Miami, then the Heat, then the Dolphins. So, you know, we were the big dogs. And
You had trouble getting into the club?
never. As long as you went with Brian McKinney, you were good.
Brian McKinney, he ran the show.
He was the man.
That song is about Andre.
2003 pop culture style. It was sort of like the rise of reality TV. So you had Survivor and Richard a couple years, in 2001, and all of that happened. But then you had Punk'd. Punk'd debuted in 2000. You remember Punk'd?
Yeah.
You had The
Zach Braff
Simple
went off
Life
terribly.
with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And I don't know, there was America's Next Top Model. There's a lot of that aside from NFL Network launching. Looking at music, it was all about 50 Cent.
Huge.
In the club.
Man, what?
Apparently, it was a big fashion trend as well.
To this day, I sip Bacardi like it's my birthday. To this day.
To this day.
What was the #1 song, Kay?
Big 50 Cent in the club.
Oh, right.
R. Kelly, Ignition, also a jam. Beyonce and Jay-Z, Crazy in Love on the top 5 songs, as well. A great year.
Kyle, what'd you think of 3 Doors Down?
Make me wish I was 2 years deaf. No thanks, guys. Sorry.
Wow.
Apple opened the iTunes store, which was insane.
Oh, that was
2003.
massive.
That was huge.
Genius Bar, still waiting.
More fashion.
Napster.
Trucker hats were really in. Those velour jumpsuits. Remember those? The ones that said
Oh,
like
my
juicy on the
goodness.
back. You guys
Juicy.
remember those?
I
Yeah.
used to love a girl wearing them juicy.
Oh, yeah.
Full on
But I
velour
did not
J-Lo.
love seeing my dad in a black velour suit.
Oh,